Namaste. No other chapter in the books of Vedic astrology has truly found a greater utilitarian value than the concept of Karaka. Now, experienced astrologers and research students alike often use Karaka to unravel subtle insights about a topic, about an event, or a question. So, Karaka, what is this and why is this so important? In this video, I'll talk about five things. One, I'll explain what Karaka is. Two, I'll also tell you who can assume the role of Karaka. Next, I'll talk to you about the different types of Karakas and which Karaka or which Karaka type should be used at any point of time. Then I'll also explain about how to apply the concept of Karaka. And I'll finally end with some of the authoritative books and other literature that you can actually refer to study more about this concept. So let's begin. What is a Karaka? The word Karaka is derived from the root verb kri, which means to do or to act. So Karaka can be understood as that which facilitates an action or that facilitates an event to happen or not to happen. So it is both to happen or not to happen. Karaka is extensively employed across Vedic scriptures. When I say this, it is employed in grammar, in philosophical discussions, in Vedic astrology, in medicine, everywhere. Karaka is generally understood as the doer of an action, or the person or the body that enables, that facilitates, or that helps perform an action is what is understood as Karaka. But is this definition true? Let me share some examples. Before I do that, I'll tell you who can assume the role of a Karaka. In Vedic astrology, the role of the Karaka can only be assumed by a Graha or a planet. Not nakshatras, not zodiac signs, not secondary astrological markers. None of these things. Only Grahas can assume the role of Karaka. Why is this? Now I've already explained about Grahas in detail. So if you look at other YouTube videos, for example, how to judge a horoscope, I have explained what Grahas are. Similarly, I think if my memory serves me right, in the November 2021 issue of the Astrological magazine, I have spoken in detail about what Grahas are. Now, essentially, Grahas are ingredients that help manifest one's experiences. In your life, the experiences that get manifested are basically powered by Grahas. They are the ingredients of these. Now, specific Grahas as Karaka influence the understanding and the engagement with a particular topic. When I say particular topic, it could be marriage, it could be finances, it could be children, it could be career, it could be any of these things. And they give you specific insights in terms of how certain things will happen. Hence, only Grahas can be Karakas. Next, what are the different types of Karakas? I've already told you only Grahas can be Karakas. However, each Graha behaves differently. For example, and based on this difference of behavior of Grahas, we classify Karakas. Now, Grahas behave differently based on their inherent nature, based on the position in the zodiac that they occupy, or based on the position they occupy in the horoscope itself. And accordingly, we have three types of Karakas. We have Sthira Karakas or fixed Karakas, Chara Karakas or movable Karakas, and Sthiti Karakas or positional Karakas. Now, before I move further, the easiest way to understand a Karaka, I don't have an exact English word, But the easiest way to understand the role of a Karaka is to look at them as agents, to look at them as brokers, etc. So Karaka essentially acts like agents or brokers. So when I say Sthira Karakas, essentially we are talking about fixed agents. Similarly, when I say Charakarakas or Sthiti Karakas, we are talking about movable agents or positional agents. Now, while there are three different types of Karakas, which Karaka type we should be using? Is it Sthira Karaka? Is it Charakaraka? Or is it Sthiti Karaka? Or should we use one after the other? Which one works better? These are the next set of questions that I'll try to help you understand. Now, Parashara says a couple of interesting lines in his Horoshastra. One such sloka goes like this: Tada graha akarsha akarshyavayam tapo gneyam dvijottama stirakaraka avashya asthya phalam gneyam shubha shubham. It's a very important sloka, and often even the English translations that we get are wrongly translating this sloka. We should first begin. Parashara essentially tells like this. He says that we should first begin with the understanding of what? With the understanding of charakarakas or movable agents. We should analyze them in detail, and then we move into the remaining two types, which is Sthira and Sthiti to fill in the gaps that currently exist when we have analyzed the Charakarakas. So it is not this or that. Parashara very clearly says that you should first analyze the Charakarakas, then analyze the Sthira and then analyze the Sthiti in that sequence. And each one, essentially the second and the third type of Karakas, essentially are filling the gaps of that would have otherwise been when we have analyzed in the previous one. The next important question that really people keep debating and discussing is the number of Karakas that are there. Some scholars suggest there should be 7 Karakas because they leave out the nodes Rahu and Ketu, and some others suggest 8 Karakas. Again, which is the Karaka that you have to look at? Now, I have explained all these things in detail in the July 2022 issue of the Astrological E-magazine. So, interested researchers who want to understand more in detail can actually go ahead and understand the reasoning behind it. But suffice to say that Parashara has clearly said that we should be using both these two types of Karakas, and he is also given when and where each of these things has to be used. Now, when we look at Karakas, as I told you, the first and foremost is Charakarakas. Now, among the Charakarakas as well, I'll just touch upon a bit and then we'll close this video. Among the Charakarakas as well, the most important Karaka is Atma Karaka. In fact, Parashara beautifully gives this statement saying that among the Charakarakas, understand that this Atma Karaka is the lord of the horoscope. And he correlates this with an example and says, just like the sun who governs the life on the earth, the Atma Karaka guides the individual from a horoscope perspective. So the Atma Karaka is the most important aspect of the horoscope. Without studying this aspect of Atma Karaka, any other study of the horoscope would be futile. Now the Atma Karaka decides almost every event or aspect of one's individual. Like I previously said, career, his likes, his dislikes, tastes, occupation, income, marriage, relationship, everything is basically decided by the Atma Karaka. I'll take an example. Right? We have all heard of Jack Dorsey, who's the co-founder of Twitter. Now, he has Jupiter as the Atma Karaka. Now, Jupiter as the Atma Karaka essentially results in um, a growth kind of a mindset, a purpose driven outlook. So, now you can essentially look at how Jack Dorsey handles his professional life, his personal life, his relationships, etc. Everything is basically a function of the Atma Karaka. So whenever Jack Dorsey interacts, it is well thought, it is well judged, and he responds also in a very meaningful manner. Further, in his horoscope, if you look at it, Jupiter is placed in the ninth house, and hence the purpose-driven outlook is really aimed at a higher purpose. And this is also the reason for his creation of social media platform like Twitter or even that financial platform like Square. The next interesting thing is now that we have so many Karakas, how do you actually use Karaka? Here is an interesting trivia. Commonly, it is understood that Karaka always is a single planet. That's incorrect. There can be more than one planet representing one single Karaka. That means there can be more than one planet representing the Atma Karaka. For example, Atma Karaka can further be divided into three parts. We can call it Adhika Karaka, Alpa Karaka, and Antya Karaka. These are all advanced topics. I've also shared this information in the July 2022 issue of the Astrological magazine. And if any reader is actually interested in going into these advanced topics, feel free to read it there. I'll conclude by giving you a set of books that you should be looking at from a Karaka perspective. Perhaps the best book, the most authoritative book would be Parashara Horashastra, followed by Jaimini Sutras. I think these two are very comprehensive and extremely in depth. You can also refer to books like Paladipika and Jataka Parijata. And finally, I think if you want everything in one place, the latest editorial that I have written, which is in July 2022 issue of the Astrological magazine, that's a good place where you can get that as well. I hope you found this video very interesting. If you have any questions or if you wish I talk to you about any particular topic, do share them as comments. You have any feedback on this video, or if you have any follow-up questions on this video, feel free to comment in the comment section. I'll try my best to respond to as many as possible. Given my timing, I may not be able to do justice to everything, but I'll promise that I'll try to respond to the most important questions. Before I close, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.